NBA, and even NBC's Dancing of the Stars. And now it's my honor to present a real star, Dr. Seeds. Please.
Well, it was a very humbling introduction. Thank you. Let me get my talk up here. I've got some slides I just wanted to kind of quickly review and give the audience just an introduction into how we look at the potentials and possibilities of influencing the aspects of how cellular efficiency, metabolic flexibility of the cell absolutely have everything to do with setting up the activity, whether it's senescence or quiescence of the stem cell, and in particular the mesenchymal stem cell, which I'm going to talk more about here. But in what we can do, or in what we do to try to set the stage for the appropriate cell signaling to try to change some of the, or most of the epigenetic factors that are working against you in using your own autologous stem cells in treatment of, in particular, what I'll be talking about here is degenerative changes of the joint, and give you some examples pretty much to try to put a lot of concepts together in a very short period of time, but to give you a taste of actually what we're doing and how we're looking at these aspects of the importance of understanding cell redox, and why cellular redox is pretty much has everything to do with the potential of any of these cell signaling aspects of even PRP or BMAC being effective if you're trying to move that to a different area for treatment. And really this has more so with trying to control the environment, the cellular environment, before you're even introducing any type of modulator like stem cells or exosomes or anything else. I don't care what you're putting in the joint. I don't care where you're putting it. If the environment is not in a favorable state, you're not benefiting from what you really can do to improve the aspects of what you're trying to do in upregulating or changing the immune modulation of the area and upregulating the signaling factors that are going to not only take effect initially in what you do to prepare the joint or to mitigate the factors of influencing what you're going to do when you inject, but also long term, because that's what you want. It's all about the outcomes here. And so let me just give you an introduction of what we look at and how we go about this, because this has much deeper. I think this has a overlying implication in everything we do, in aging, in cancer, in performance, and it really has a broad spectrum of influence in what we do every day with our patients. And this is just another aspect, I think, and an easier way for people to, I think, to understand when we're approaching this process of using any type of signal modulation. It's very important to improve the environment in which you're using these modalities. So let me just jump into sharing my screen here and see if we can get this going here. So let's see. Okay. So the topic of what I'm going to present is really talking, again, an introduction to how we look at what's manipulating and influencing redox of the cell. What can we do to try to improve redox? What does redox have to do with autophagy, mitophagy, the things that we feel are important in preventing cellular senescence, which I believe has everything to do with influencing the environment of what we're doing to treat patients, because most of our patients, whether it's aging, whether it's immune disease, or whether it's degenerative changes of a joint, we're working against the environment that these senescent cells in these areas are creating. And I think the literature is pretty self-explanatory in pushing us in that direction of making it very, very, very plain that cellular senescence is absolutely the main aggravator that we're working against in cell signaling and what changes the environment. So let's talk about that behavior of if we look at the mesenchymal stromal cell, what can influence this behavior? And obviously we know that aging is has everything to do with a primary indicator and influencer of every disease we know, any metabolic disease and cancer. Aging is up there. Why? Because aging has everything to do with decreasing certain activity levels of